All right, what's up, guys? Tuesday, September the 28th, 2021. Hope you're all doing well. Chris Phillips here, the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. As always, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Guys, got a lot to get into here on a Tuesday. Of course, we've got Shane Beamer's media availability today at 1:15. We'll all tune into that, of course, as Shane Beamer speaks to the media ahead of this weekend's game. Gamecocks taking on the Troy Trojans at Williams-Brice Stadium. I see Todd Smith, Travi, Brendan M., Phil, John Kruger, Justin Moore. What's going on? Also, guys, we do have the phone set up today. So, again, I know some of you were having trouble getting in yesterday. If you want to try to call back in, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. We should be good to go. If you continue to have issues, please just let me know. But we should be good to go. Went back and listened to the audio yesterday, and I think it was a massive success. So, definitely seems like we've got the phone set up moving forward. But, again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. A lot to get into here on a Tuesday. Like I said, continuing to take your questions, your comments, your calls. Guys, before we get into everything, I do want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms where they've represented hundreds of clients at a time. And, guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand you're not just a line item, you're not just a number, you're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. They're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family, guys, and they're going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. If you've been involved in any type of accident, no matter what it is, the last thing that you should be worried about and dealing with is paperwork, dealing with the insurance company. Let the experts over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm handle it for you, guys. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient yet effective. Again, guys, let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia, Curtis in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today in Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, guys, your one-stop shop. Their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That's dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, it's our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Okay, also, if you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to TDC Questions, the TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered. BDiva890, what's going on? First-time watcher and listener. BDiva, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. Yeah, again, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, 843-790-3377. Also, guys, in case you missed it, some announcements dropping this morning. Some stuff we obviously had in the works for a little bit, but officially getting the graphics and such, the announcements out on social media. First things first, very proud to announce TSUS is once again sponsoring the Thread Affair event in Columbia this Sunday, October the 2nd. Correct? No, 3rd, excuse me, October the 3rd. October the 2nd's game day. October the 3rd, Sunday, October the 3rd at Noma Warehouse Thread Affair. Very excited to sponsor that, guys. Again, definitely come on out, noon to 6 at Noma Warehouse in Columbia, South Carolina. Going to feature some of the best entrepreneurs, vintage vendors, if you will. Really, really cool stuff. You can get hats like this. You can get stuff like this. So really cool stuff. Check that out. Also, guys, we just announced officially our watch party for next weekend for the South Carolina Tennessee game at the Carolina Ale House location in Summerville, South Carolina. Yes, we'll be in Summerville, South Carolina next weekend, October the 9th, for the South Carolina Tennessee game. So, again, would love to have you guys going out to that. Going to be a really good time. Doors open at 11. Kickoff is at noon. And, again, more details to follow as we get closer and closer to kickoff in that ball game. But, again, guys, taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well, 843-790-3377. Very excited and very intrigued to hear what Shane Beamer has to say today after a really, really tough game on Saturday. And obviously a very tough loss. No, Justin Warren, I'm not making the trip to Knoxville because I'm getting paid to do a watch party. So trust me, my friend, you wouldn't go either. No, we've partnered up. Like I said, we've partnered up with Carolina Ale House for the 2021 football season, so I will not be making any road trips this season. And again, the other two games outside of Tennessee are Texas A&M and Columbia, Missouri, so I'm not honestly that sad that I have to miss those. That's a hike. That's a hike. As much fun as it would be, and at some point I think TSUS, we will spend a season on the road. There's just a lot of logistics and things to go into going to a road game, finding a place to stay, gas money, food money, all the money you need to do that. So, at some point we'll do that, but I'm very excited again. I've had a blast traveling around the state, hanging out with Gamecocks, getting to meet Gamecocks that I guess we wouldn't normally get to meet because they're obviously not located in Columbia, South Carolina. So it's been a really, really cool thing. So again, Summerville, South Carolina for the Tennessee game. Not this Saturday, of course, but next Saturday, October the 9th. Really looking forward to it. And also, same rule applies as the first two times we've done these. Tell your waiter, waitress, whoever you're with TSUS, you'll get 10% off. And if you're going to come out, DM me, let me know. I would love to know. I'd love to chat with you guys and make sure we have enough seating and stuff like that. But definitely shoot me a DM. Definitely let me know. But it's going to be a really, really good time at that Carolina Ale House location in Summerville. Again, taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well, 843-790-3377. Guys, it's 843-790-3377. We'd love to have you guys call in. Like I said, guys, in case you're wondering why I'm wearing headphones, if you didn't figure this out yesterday, we've got the brand new call setup, if you will, to where I have the phone connected to the interface. So no more having to hold the phone up to the microphone. You guys, you'll call in, and you guys also on the other end will be able to hear the call much more clearly. It's actually going to sound like a real radio show. Who knew that was possible? So again, really, really exciting stuff. Really happy about that. And again, it's that's what's fun about the content, guys. We just continue to get better. We continue to evolve. It's a really, really good time. My guy, Uric Jones, says, I need to coach. Hey, we need whoever. We need whoever we can get to help us on the line of scrimmage. I'll tell you this, though. And the podcast dropped this morning, of course, guys, episode 506 with Alex McGrath, always our Tuesday conversation. Really, really good stuff. But after talking with him and talking to another buddy of mine yesterday, the reality is this. As badly as I want to see us run the football, at some point, if it's not going to work, you just have to scrap the running game. As much as I hate to. All right, let's jump on the phone line real quick.
Call from
Brian.
Brian, what's going on? You're on the air. How are you?
What's going on, Chris? I just wanted to see if it worked today.
Yeah, it's working. Thank goodness. It's good stuff.
Just a test call.
Hey, I appreciate it, Brian. Thank you. Good stuff. We're working today. I appreciate Brian helping us out right there with the content, the test call from Brian. Love that. Yes, we should be good to go. Like I said, I don't know if it's because of iOS 15. We were having some people, they were calling in, it was hanging up on. I have no idea, guys. Technology is great until it isn't, but we should be good to go. So again, Brian, thank you for helping out there. But back to what I was saying though, as badly as I want to see South Carolina run the football effectively, it just comes to a point where if you cannot run the ball, you have to scrap it. I mean, you just have to scrap it at some point. You cannot keep going out there doing the same things over and over and over again. Now, I'm talking about this weekend, by the way. I'm talking about this weekend. Let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Rodney.
Rodney, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you calling in. What's up?
Hey, man, I try to beat you. I know what you about to say. I'm listening to you on YouTube. You was about to say you about to start talking about scrapping the run game. I said this. I was thinking about this. Instead of trying to run this ball when they're loading the box up, just go to 5 wide, spread them out, see what that happens. What do you think about that, Chris?
I mean, I think you just got to do something to change it up and just see what works. I mean, I think, again, it's just
right.
I'm looking at like this weekend against Troy, and obviously we'll break it down much, much more in depth later in the week. But I just think about this game against Troy. I want South Carolina to run the ball because I know we have the personnel to do so. And so it's sort of maddening that we cannot run the football. But at some point, if you're lining up and you're getting stuffed like early in the game against Troy, I just don't feel like you can play around that entire game and try to just see if we can figure it out and see if it works. It's like at some point, man, you got to say, you know what, we just can't run the ball this year. And that's just, hey, every season's a different story. And last season the story was, hey, we have the SEC's leading rusher. But maybe the story this season is just we just cannot run the ball. That's it. And so at some point, you have to accept it. So, I mean, I'm not saying we should go into the game and throw it 60 times, but I think we should. I think we should fail fast. I think we should fail quickly. Like, hey, if it's not working early, yeah.
Spread those linebackers out, put those tight ends in, put a bunch of wide receivers in, 4 or 5 wide receivers in, and just spread them out. Say, hey, all right, you gonna stop our run, then you stop our passing game,
right?
And see what happens. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and it's not like you've been elite passing the ball, but you have had some success. I mean, you've had a little bit of success here and there. And at some point, you just got to give guys opportunities to go make plays. That's it. I mean, hey. Maybe our wide receiver room isn't the greatest. I mean, I've been very critical of them, but you know what? At some point, it's like we're going to go down swinging. It's like, hey, we're gonna put a guy like Jalen Brooks, Dak Joyner, Hamarian Brown, or Trey Smith, whoever, one-on-one, Josh Vann, of course. But we're going to give you an opportunity to make plays, and if you don't, hey, whatever. We just got beat, so I can live with that.
Right.
Just trying to run it at the middle every time, I can't live with it. I can't. If it's not working, it's not working. As much as maddening as it is, as crazy as it seems, you know. Can't just keep doing it over and over again. So,
hey, Chris, one more last question. When you coming back to Greenville? I missed you last time.
Yeah, so we'll be downtown Greenville. Of course, like I just mentioned, we're going to Summerville for the Tennessee game. I think for the A&M game on the 23rd, we'll be at downtown Greenville, that Greenville location again, which I will say I'm itching to get back up there because we had an absolute blast that weekend. So
you had a good turnout?
Oh, we had a great –
Did you have a good – because I'm always wondering – how many upstate listeners are watching you on YouTube?
That's why they want us to come back because we had such a good turn. I mean, there were probably 100 Gamecocks there, man. It was awesome.
Wow,
we were able to.
That's cool, man.
And I shout out to the Greenville Gamecock Club that kind of collabed with us as well, and it was awesome though. I mean, I thought it was a fantastic turnout, and the Carolina Ale House people were very happy, which I guess is really what matters in the end. But no, we had a blast, man. We had a blast, and hey, it's even more fun now if Clemson can continue to struggle. It makes it a little bit more fun to go up there, and we don't feel as pressed wearing our garnet and black around the around the city and everything. So I'm looking forward to getting back up there, man.
Hey, Chris, why don't you I know you notice on YouTube you don't put I don't know if you have Cash App so we can support you or whatnot. Do you have Cash App or what?
Yeah, so we have Cash App. It's it's the Spurs Up Show. You can also on YouTube Super Chat, Super Stickers if you want to do that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but we've got a Cash App. It's as simple as the Spurs Up Show on Cash App. That's literally it. That $sign the Spurs Up Show. So.
Okay, yeah, I want to bless you, man.
I appreciate it. Man.
I'm always listening to your content and everything. Just want to throw something into you just to show some kind of appreciation. Thank you.
I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate the call. And like I said, looking forward to this weekend. And
thank you, Doc.
Yeah, appreciate you.
See you, bro.
Thanks so much. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. Yeah, we actually do have a Cash App. Just $sign the Spurs Up Shows. If you guys want to support, if you guys ever want to support that way, you're more than welcome to, obviously. You're able to do that. Let me see. Something's going on with our Twitter account. Something's going on with our Twitter account here, folks. Is Twitter just down or what's going on? I don't know what's going on. Either way, though, you can most certainly support our content, everything else. We've got a PayPal, the Spurs Up Show on PayPal, or the Spurs Up Show on Cash App, everything else. So, again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. So I'm continuing to take your questions, your comments, your calls as well. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want to scrap the running game. I don't, because it doesn't make any sense that we cannot run the football, right? And I think to be successful for this team to be the best version of itself, it needs to be able to run the football. I feel like that is stating the obvious. But, I mean, at some point, if you can't run it, you just can't run it. Like, again, every season has its own story. Every season has its own story. And so maybe the season, the story of the season, you just can't run the ball. I don't know what else to say, I don't know what else to say because you haven't been able to run it to this point, guys. What tells you South Carolina is going to be able to go out and block against Troy and run the football effectively? What tells you that? You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that really, there's no evidence that would point to that will be the case. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines real
Call
quick.
from
Zachary.
Zachary, what's up, man? How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, Chris. I agree with what you're saying. I think like the overall problem with the offense is we don't have an identity. Like the identity of the offense was you're supposed to be able to run the ball, but we can't run the ball, and we're trying to run to set up the pass, and you can't run it. But also, here's another problem, like you said earlier, you can't scrap the run because that's just giving them free range to tee off on your quarterback. And also they can just keep two safeties deep. So it's kind of like you're in this no man's land. So you kind of got to get creative of what you need to do. So it really is like offensively, what can you do, honestly?
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, yeah, that's certainly what, a point that Alex made today. And we talked about, it's just this team has no clue what it wants to do. And, but yeah, when you, I think what the biggest, the thing that I think is probably throwing Marcus Satterfield's brain in a blender, and certainly mine as well, is like we just all expected the running game to be the calling card of the offense. And I mean, it wasn't even going to be close, right? I thought the running game was going to be what you were going to lean on. And it hasn't just been like, oh, the running game's gotten off to a slow start. The running game has been non-existent. I mean, just flat out. It's been non-existent. So, adjustments have to be made. That's what I'll say. Yesterday I spent the entire day trying to put out fires and, hey, let's not jump ship. Let's not fire everybody. But with that being said, yeah, Marcus Satterfield and this offensive staff, they got to be held accountable. There's got to be adjustments made. And there has to be adjustments made. You cannot just go into Troy with the exact same game plan and hoping something different will happen. Because here's the thing, man. Again, it's not even like you couldn't run the ball against Kentucky and Georgia, but you ran it really well in your non-conference games. You couldn't even push East Carolina around. And they gave up 201 yards per game on the ground last year and then gave up 226 to App State in week one. So, I mean, what tells you we're going to be able to go push Troy around? I thought Troy in the preseason, to be honest with you, was a better team than East Carolina. So, I'm not going to try to spend this entire week like hyping the Troy Trojans up to be some, powerhouse. But, I mean, this is a very big game. Like, we're going to get into it, like I said, a lot more later in the week. But you're a touchdown favorite, bro. You could lose this football game if you screw around. So, you got to find something early. You got to find something that works. I mean, at this point, man, as badly as I want to see him run the football, I wouldn't even be opposed to seeing South Carolina. Hey, if you want to try more vertical passing or just passing in general, I mean, so be it. Because at least in the passing game, you've had some success. I mean, Doty thus far this season is, 30 of 51, 2 touchdowns and a pick. I know that's nothing fantastic, but maybe we need to throw it more. I don't know. I mean, it's maddening. It's because there's no. I mean, because here's the thing, man. People don't just want to hear the excuse. They get tired of hearing me say it, and I know they do. People don't want to just continue to hear me say, well, our players just aren't very good. People don't want to hear that. Yeah. They just do not want to hear that. And that's fair because, hey, even if our players aren't that great, it's like, well, Marcus Satterfield, that's kind of why you were hired, man, to get the most out of a bunch of guys that maybe, they've got something in the tank, but the last staff weren't able to do it. So, but I can tell you this, we may not be the most talented bunch, but we're way too good to be shut out in the first half of a game. That's just ridiculous. So, I just think in this Troy game, though, man, you got to fail fast. You cannot spend the entire game, being stingy in the run game, if you will. We all want the run to work, but if it's not, it's not. I mean, I don't know what else to say. If it's not, it's not. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I know offensive line play is not as simple as just line up and block the guy across from you, but maybe they need to simplify it down to that because I don't understand what's going on up front. I mean, that's where it all starts. That's where all the problems lie is in the offensive line. And, I'll tell you right now, if South Carolina's offensive line stays the way it is right now, you probably win 4 games this year. Maybe 4. You might be a 3-9 team if you can't block any better than you're doing. And that's just the reality. So, you can get away with a lot of other problem areas if you're South Carolina. Your DBs can be average. Your receivers cannot be very good. Your tight ends can have a down year. But if your offensive line doesn't work this year, man, this entire team will not work. So you got to get it figured out fast, man. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least, speaking of DBs, at least the secondary is playing well. Like, playing better than everybody thought it would. So, that's a plus.
Yeah, that is a plus. You are correct. Yeah. Now it's, like I said, you got to figure out, you got to figure out something quickly. You got to figure out something quickly. That's it. You just, even if you go beat Troy this week, and if you win 17-10, that's just not going to fly, man. It's not going to be a lot of people that are real fired up over that score. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. All right, then, Chris. I'll let you go. Have a good one.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much. 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. Continue to take your questions, your comments, your calls as well. Something is going on with Twitter today on the desktop. Something's going on with Twitter on desktop. I don't know what it is. Huh. I don't know. Twitter's just down on desktop. I don't know. It's weird. Again, 843-790-3377, guys. It's 843-790-3377. Let's get to your questions here in the comments. Joe Anders, they definitely pushed ECU around in the second half. For a brief time, yes, you pushed ECU around. But as a whole, as a collective, you got pushed around. Jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Skyline Davis.
Skyline, what's up, man? How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you calling in. What's up?
I didn't get to hear your show yesterday because I was working. So I was wondering what was your I don't want you to go play back, but I would like to hear your opinion on the offense on Saturday night.
My opinion on the offense on Saturday night, it was bad. I mean, I thought first off, Doty played fine. We're lacking big-time playmakers on the outside. But it all comes back to the offensive line. Bro, we got outrushed 230-58. That's the story of the entire game. That's it. That's all you got to know. The play calling was a bit vanilla, for sure. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that it wasn't and that it doesn't need to improve. Something has to change. I also spent all day yesterday putting out fires and talking people off a ledge of, fire Satterfield, and we got to burn the thing down. Is Satterfield in over his head? Like, it's 4 games. It's 4 games. I mean, maybe Satterfield will prove to be in over his head, but it's 4 games, man. And I think, again, the reactions you saw yesterday, and I do think a lot of people, by the way, could deal with losing that game on Saturday, but it was the way you lost and how, really pathetic you looked at times, certainly. How pathetic you looked at times. I mean, when you all you need to know, Skyline, is when you win the turnover margin 3-0 and you still lose on your home field at night, that just tells you everything you need to know. If you're the better team, you win the game, and it probably isn't even close. So, offensively, you just didn't get it done, bottom line. Offensively, you didn't get it done. So, you can't run the football, and if you can't run the football, like I said in the preseason, man, that's just going to kill this entire team. That's it. That's it.
Well, my personal opinion, I don't know if you respect my opinion or not.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Skyline, if I didn't respect your opinion, I wouldn't answer your call. So leave it at that.
Yeah. I'm not bashing nobody here, but as of right now, I'm not on the Fire Satterfield fan base. But I do feel like he doesn't know what he wants to do, because all you heard all preseason was got to get the tight ends involved.
Yeah.
Got to get this person involved. Got to get that person involved. Well, you haven't seen the tight end play since basically them knowing through an interception versus ECU. And then you don't even see Shaquante White anymore. And they were so mad because they didn't get Juju involved during the Georgia game. They ran Juju 4 or 5 times in the first quarter, then he disappeared. Yeah. And Juju was kind of your only running game offense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Shaquante White didn't even touch the ball Saturday.
In the past 2 games.
Yeah, didn't even touch the ball. Your tight ends
as a whole. One thing.
Yeah, I was going to say your tight ends as a whole, Nick Muse and E.J. Jenkins combined for 2 catches for 38 yards. Jaheim Bell had 2 targets and no catches. And Jaheim Bell was one of my key matchups. Didn't do anything. So
Jaheim Bell is probably and like everybody's got their personal opinions of the tight ends, but Jaheim Bell's probably the best tight end on the team to me.
Right.
And he don't even get these people involved at all.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I guess to play devil's advocate, my question to people is, what did you expect? Did people think there weren't going to be growing pains? Did they think this was going to be like just an easy transition? And I mean, you got to every single one of these coaches, man. You know, Beamer, Satterfield, nor White have ever coached at this level. I mean, it's just. I think it's going to be a work in progress, man. You knew what you were signing up for. Again, I'm not trying to like make excuse on excuse for the guys. They got to be better. There's got to be adjustments made. But, you know, I've got written on the whiteboard, control what you can control. I just don't understand. I don't understand exerting a lot of energy in the sense of like, oh, is he in over his head? Should we make a move? Nobody's getting fired this year, bro. Maybe Greg Atkins at the end of the season if the O-line continues to look terrible. And that's, I guess, almost more reason. Like I look at the Troy game and the rest of the season, you know, be more aggressive. I would like to see more aggressive play calling. Yeah, because you're not coaching for your job this year. Like, what do you have to lose? You know, like, so.
There are some things I like to see improve, like on the deep passes. It's a one-man route. Only one guy goes for a route. Everybody else is run blocking.
Yeah. I mean, you got people in the comments. Is Satterfield in over his head? Did we make the wrong hire? Was it it's like, bro, you're locked in with Satterfield for at least until the end of next season. So just buckle up. And it's hard.
Years.
And it's hard for me. It's just hard for me to bring the hammer down and judge Satterfield on a roster that isn't his guys. Like, these are not their players. Like, it's not like the previous regime left a wealth of offensive talent behind. I think the thing that's, again, and it makes sense to me, what's most frustrating is just the fact, because here's the thing, fans just want things to make sense. And the running game not working, and not even just not working, but being pathetic, doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I could have dealt losing.
Do you think they substitute too much?
Say it again?
Do you think they're substituting too much?
At the running back position, or just as a whole?
As a whole, like you don't ever see quarterbacks and linebackers and, you know, safeties and wide receivers substitute like the way we substitute players.
Well,
maybe the D-line substitutes a lot.
Yeah, I think they're trying to find their guys. They're trying to find playmakers. That's pretty much it. Maybe at the running back position, I mean, Kevin did get the bulk of the carries, though. 12 carries for 38 yards. And I think Kevin, I don't know, man. Is he 100%? I have no idea. I don't know. How about Marshawn Lloyd, by the way? I love Marshawn to death, but man, what a just, I mean,
he's not ready.
Falling short of expectations player he's been thus far. Good God.
One day his knee feels fine. Next day it's iffy. So that's a lot you're not really seeing here.
Yeah,
it's a knee thing. It's not him being scared.
I mean,
one day his knee's feeling fine, one day his knee's not.
Did Kevin Harris benefit last year from a more traditional running scheme versus this zone blocking type thing we're doing right now?
Yeah.
Again,
because last year Mike Bobo.
Yeah, I half-heartedly made the point on Saturday. I miss Mike Bobo, and of course, Gamecock Twitter reacted accordingly. But damn it, the man could dial up some run scheme. At least we were good at something.
Mike Bobo based our offense off of Kevin Harris. And Mike Bobo's run scheme is damn good. It just shows you how good it was. And that's why I'm so much on the offensive line. Like, people don't understand the offensive line is so experienced. They held the SEC leading rusher last year. Why are they doing what they're doing now? It doesn't make no sense.
Yeah. I mean, I just, again, I think that blame should be placed on all parties. I do. I mean, I think everyone should be held accountable. Because here's my thing. Everyone just wants to blame it on Satterfield. And I had a point. Right. I had somebody comment on social media make this point. They said, Chris, why was last year it was the coach's fault, but this year it's the player's fault? And here's the reason. Beamer didn't recruit any of these players. They're not his players. You know, they're not his players. Like, I mean, so they are trying to squeeze blood out of a rock, bro. They are. They are.
If you follow recruiting, to the people listening, because I know you do, because we talk about recruiting, Beaver offers a totally different player than Muschamp ever offered.
Right. And I'm not even trying to sit here and say these guys don't have talent, but man, they just were severe. I think a lot of these guys on this roster were severely underdeveloped. I don't think that's a hot take by any stretch. I just,
We can go look at the stars. Josh Vann finally looking decent, but you don't even go look at him Saturday. What, 2 or 3 times?
Right.
Or Trey Smith, a 4-star wide receiver, doesn't get looked at. Can't get Xavier Leggett healthy, which I think he's out of position. Jamar Brown, he's butt ass naked open every time he's on the field, but nobody looks his way because it's a one read offense. If you watch the game, Luke Doty does not check his progressions. They're telling him you have one receiver and one receiver only, basically.
Right.
Because everything's one read.
Yeah.
But
I think
maybe it's one read because
I think the blame
he just has it.
Yeah. I think the blame falls on all parties. Marcus Satterfield's got to be a better play caller. Greg Atkins has got to get his head out of his ass, is what he's got to do. The offensive line, everybody up front has to be better. Has to be better. The running backs, they got to be better. Luke Doty's got to sharpen his game. Receivers, I got to go make freaking plays, bro. It hits you in the chest on 4th and 5, you got to catch it. Bottom line. Tight ends, they got to be better. Are they getting open? I mean, what are they doing? So it's a collective, bro. It ain't just on Satterfield. Because, hey, is there some issues in play calling? Sure. But you cannot sit here and tell me there are not issues in personnel. You just cannot do that. There are issues in personnel. We do not have great personnel. Why is that so hard for some fans to accept? There's a reason you fired the last coach.
Exactly.
Coaching was bad, development was bad, and unfortunately you've got a roster full of guys who were highly touted recruits in high school, and that's it. A lot of them aren't really good college. A lot of them aren't good college football players. Dak Joyner, for example.
And they are who they are.
I hate to single the guy out, but that experiment needs to end. How is Amarian Brown not getting those reps? That is mind-blowing to me. That's mind-blowing.
To me, it's kind of like they're playing their fan favorite. They got to be playing their fan favorite.
Bro, I just want to win. I don't give a damn about that. I don't give a damn about playing no favorites. I don't give a damn, bro. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I mean, it's crazy, man. I've still got people asking about Trey Smith on social media. Like, bro, I told you to sell your stock 6 months ago. Hell, 2 years ago, I told you that. So, listen, I love our guys. There's no 22 I'd rather battle with. Who we got. All we got's all we need right now, and all we got's all we got right now. And, again, you got to get more out of our guys because we do have – the running game is what has to work. The running game is what has to work, but it's just I'm not going to bring the hammer down on Shane Beamer, Marcus Satterfield, even Clayton White in year one with a roster that's totally not theirs. So.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you my prediction because it's probably be the last time of the week I get to hear you because of work. But I think we're going to battle with Troy Close just like ECU.
Yeah, I think that's a very good way to look at it. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. If a player 2, 3 goes Troy's way, Troy wins the football game. But I just think we still outmatched them player to player scheme. So I think the Gamecocks wins like 27-20, something around 24-20, 27-20. The Gamecocks win.
Fair enough. I think that's fair. I think it's going to be a battle. I mean, we're a touchdown favorite for a reason. When are people going to start listening to Vegas? Bro, every game we played has hit the damn spread. Basically, every single one of them has hit the number. So, and again, I don't think there's a lot of fans that think we're going to go blow Troy out or anything, but I'm just saying, like, I'm expecting a fight. That's it. So, we'll see what happens. Skyline, I appreciate it. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, just like I said, offense ain't good enough right now. And defense is, and that's why I think you win the game Saturday because your defense is really doing their job.
Yeah, put some respect on the defense for sure, man. Like I said yesterday, it's a damn shame we're spending this entire week talking offense when it's like the defense, what they've done. Hey, they've shut me up, at least for a little bit. They've shut me up. I mean, I don't think we're elite. I don't think we're like the best defense in the conference, but we're night and day better than we were last year. There's no question. So kudos to Clayton White, everybody in that defensive room. I mean, they've done a hell of a job. So, Skyline, I appreciate the call, my man. We'll talk soon.
Later.
Great stuff. 843-790-3377. I want to go back to this comment, by the way. Travis Ford says, wait, you just said trust the coaches. Now you question their decision as to who plays. No, definitely trust the coaches. I'm more questioning Amari and Brown. I mean, what the hell's going on? It's just confusing. I'm like, I don't understand how Amari and Brown was this guy at Georgia Tech, and he comes here and, I mean, God, I don't feel like he has a catch. So, no, I mean, I fully support and trust who Shane Beamer and Marcus Satterfield think should play. I'm just shocked that Amari and Brown has not evolved into a guy for us. I don't know. It's hard to believe. Well, I think somebody just tried to call in and it rang twice and hung up. So you want to call back in 843-790-3377. Phone lines are ringing off the hook, by the way. Nick Renfro, I'm sure Marcus Satterfield's good friends with Joe Brady. Maybe he can scrap his own offensive playbook and get a copy of Joe Brady's playbook. I guess that's what I would ask you guys too, though. Like, what would you do? How would you call plays for this football team? Because you can want to do whatever you want to do, but you got to call plays to the personnel you have. What does the personnel deem we should be good at and should not be good at? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's jump back to the phone line.
Call from
Tyler.
Tyler, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing good. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's up?
Yeah, I just want to give you a call. I was first going to talk about the running back position. Do you think that them rotating 4 backs is almost hurting us at this point with not one of them being able to get into the flow of the game? I think it's killing us offensively.
I think you'd be best served probably finding a guy and just giving, we're going to give you 20, 25 carries, getting a rhythm, getting a groove. You know, there's some guys that get better as the game goes. So, yeah, I think, finding some consistency with one dude. I mean, you want to use all the guys you have, but at some point, you know, you got to have one guy that separates himself from the rest. So,
yeah, I worked with the team when Muschamp was there. The last year, Bentley was there.
Right.
And pretty much just the energy that Beamer is bringing is a heck of a lot different than what Muschamp was. I was with more of the equipment, but I was there with the safety, so I worked like literally next to Muschamp every single practice. I mean, the guy was just never – he just – not trying to bash him. He just wasn't ever really positive with any of them. He would just get on them constantly. Seeing with Beamer – positive energy, it's just a heck of a lot better, I think.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm not. Did the results Saturday suck? Yes, but I mean, I would continue to urge fans and tell fans I'm very optimistic and happy with the direction of the program. I mean, Shane Beamer's not going to be judged off year one, man. The number one goal of year one is just get to next preseason with the same or nearly the same optimism and positive momentum you had this past preseason so that you can sell it on recruiting. I mean, that's where he's going to have to build this thing is in recruiting, obviously. Recruiting and development. So, I mean, dude, I'm in it for the long haul with Shane Beamer, and he's learning as he goes too. I mean, first-time head coach. So, but I'm very bullish on South Carolina football with Shane Beamer at the helm. I think everybody else should be too.
That's right. I appreciate you taking my call, man. You're doing a hell of a job at the show. I like it.
I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much for the kind words. Take care.
Yeah.
Good stuff. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. It's crazy, guys, with the new phone setup. I feel like I don't even need as many breaks as I did before. So, hey, there's something new for you. Let's see. Carolina Titan, quick screens will be our best option on offense since the O-line can't block. We don't have a dependable Ace Sanders receiver. Amari Brown could be that guy with the speed. Listen, guys, I want to tell you this too. I don't have all the answers. I just want to see South Carolina score points. I'm just as frustrated as you are. I want to make that very clear. Like, I don't have the answer. I don't know why we can't run the ball. I don't get it. I do not get it. If anybody knows for a fact, please comment, please call in and educate me. Because I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me how we cannot run the ball. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines. We're ringing off the hook today.
Tyler.
Tyler, what's up, man? How are you?
Good, man. Hey, so I commented in the chat there just a couple minutes ago, and, everybody's still, all up in arms about the play calling. Listen, the only proven SEC caliber position coach, whatever, that we have right now is Justin Sever, the wide receiver position. He's the only person that's made an immediate impact, has made Josh Vann a dude. He's developing Jalen Brooks and stuff like that, But, the play calling is very vanilla, and it's going to have to get better. But, Shane wants to win here.
And if Shane isn't getting the results that he needs from his guys, his coordinators get paid millions of dollars to do their job, he's going to put boots to asses and he's going to make changes because he wants to stick around here and he's not Muschamp. He's not going to keep his thumb over the behind. He's going to do and make the hard decisions and make sure that these guys are going to be successful and this program's going to get to where, we all want it to be. So, everybody just needs to chill out, calm down. We're all right. But if Satterfield can't go out and put, 28, 35 points up against Troy, yeah, his seat's getting a little warm. And I hate to say it because it's game 5, but there should be no reason why we can't, move the ball up and down the field against Troy. You know what I mean? It's a very formidable opponent.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, you have to trust. At the end of the day, like you said, man, I agree with you 100%. You have to trust that Shane Beamer is going to make the best possible moves that are in the best interest of Carolina football. I just, again, the difference in Shane Beamer and every other coach, and hey, maybe in 5 years this will be proven wrong, but as of right now, what I take away from Shane Beamer is it really matters to him. This is really personal for him, this Carolina job. Like, he really wants to do well here. You know what I mean? So he's not just going to screw around and keep his buddies employed and make moves that are not in the best interest of this football program. So, hey, if a change needs to be made at any spot, he will do it. I fully believe that. So you just got to trust him. I mean, listen, we're all sitting here. It's crazy, man. It feels like this week has been like 4 days because I feel like my brain has just been racking since Saturday night. But the way we're all talking and the way people are, I would say this to, not just you, obviously, but everybody listening, hearing the sound of my voice, everybody in the comments, you think you're upset with how the offense looked? Trust me, they are tirelessly working in the building to get it figured out and put points on the board. I promise you. So let's see if they can do it.
Absolutely.
Let's see if they can do it.
And that's all we can do. And Clayton White has been a home run hire so far. Pete Limbo and his special teams crew has been great so far. So there's a lot of positives that we as a fan base, and as these guys as coaches and players can take away from it. But to lose the way we did at home, getting 3 turnovers, getting 0 points off of it, is inexcusable.
Yeah.
And the guys at the running back position who everybody hyped up and said were so good, they haven't shown me a damn thing. I mean, and how much is that the offensive line, and how much is Kevin Harris extremely healthy? Is he 100%? Because I mean, I don't know. He had a back procedure. That's like saying Tiger Woods is going to be Tiger Woods from 2001 again. You know what I mean? I mean, back surgeries aren't like just a microscopic procedure. It's not something you just hey, okay, it's just a back surgery. We're going to get better.
Yeah.
That thing takes time. Marshawn's coming off an ACL. Zaquandre White didn't touch the ball. Surprising. The guy runs like his head's on fire when he gets the ball. But, if anything and any change to me, in my opinion, that would need to be changed if this offensive line can't get anything going, Greg Axon's ass needs to pack his bags and get the hell out of Columbia.
Yeah.
I mean, there should be no reason why with the veteran guys on that line that we have, we shouldn't be able to push around smaller opponents and or even Kentucky, who isn't huge. They weren't huge on the defensive line in the football. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, man. That's one position coach in the area.
I know. I fully agree with you there. Listen, I'd have no issues if the offensive line continues to be stagnant and, we get in the season and it's just it never showed improvement. I'd have no issues with that because it's like what changed? The only thing that changed was coaching. A coach. That's it. So I'd have no issues with it. But I'd be if I was in that building, I'd be challenging the hell out of those guys this week. Not just the O linemen, but the running backs, like you said. It's like, hey man, y'all wanted to hear all preseason how y'all are the best running back room in the SEC, and you're this and you're that, and you're slept on, and you're underrated, and whatever. I understand it's the O line's fault, but it's like I would challenge them too. It's like because everybody that was complaining that Kevin Harris wasn't a preseason first team All-American looks pretty damn silly now. I mean, look pretty foolish. So it falls on everybody in that room, man. Yeah.
Yep, and I caution the fan base of that. And, and that's because at the beginning of the season, if Marshawn was fully healthy, he, take it for what it's worth, he wasn't even the best damn running back on the roster.
Right.
With a healthy Marshawn Lloyd. And I don't know how much is Marshawn's too timid or if he's just trying to hit home runs and try to, instead of trying to hit some singles and doubles and then breaking one out. You know what I mean? Right. I feel like that room is just expecting to hit home runs every single time that, they are, out on the field and doing things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's definitely the thing with Marshawn, but everybody's got to be better. Everybody's got to be better. You got to score points. Bottom line, like you said, man, you can't go out there and win 17-10 this weekend and I mean, you're not going to make, you're not going to make many friends if you struggle again offensively against Troy. You're just not going to do it. So, no, I appreciate the call, man. Really good insight, really good perspective. Good stuff as always. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Bill. Have a good one, man.
You too. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. I feel like I should just inject one break in here today. Hey, we're tuning into Shane Beamer's media availability at 1:15. My friend Eric Fryer, by the way, comments, perspective. We're 4 weeks in the season, and we're still as good as Clem sucks. Yes. Hey, perspective's a beautiful thing, folks. It's why I was pumping perspective in all last week. Hey, although the way it happened is disappointing, we are exactly where I picked us to be at this point in the season. 2-2. We are exactly where I picked us to be. Exactly where I picked us. Now, and this is what I wanted to see all preseason, now you run into adversity, right? Real adversity. You were expected to lose to Georgia. But adversity, losing on your home field in a game you feel like slipped away you should have had, how do we respond to adversity? Everyone in the building, from the coaching staff, this team, the support staff, I don't care who you are. How do you respond to adversity? You got a huge 3-game stretch upcoming, folks. 2 of the 3 you feel very, very winnable, and Tennessee's winnable as well. And hey, if you can get things figured out offensively and you're 5-2 after the first 7, which is what I picked, that's nothing but a dream start for Shane Beamer. Nothing but a dream start. So, can you make it happen? That'll be the question. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. We continue to take your questions, your comments, your calls on the other side of the break. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. Okay, we're back. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I'm curious, by the way. Let's see. I know you guys can hear the ringtone, by the way. Trying to see if I can cut off the ringtone. You should be able to do that, right? How do you cut off your ringtone on? I don't know why it's showing up with that. Let's see. Because I know that's kind of annoying. I know that's kind of annoying. Let's see. Cut off the iPhone ringer. There's got to be a way. Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, okay. Boom. Yeah, because like I said, I know that's something that's pretty annoying for you guys, so I don't want to. Here we go. Sounds. Okay. I think we should be good. Hopefully. Or not. Okay. I've got it on silent mode. We'll see if that does. We'll see if that works. 843-790-3377. Some of the guys continue to take your questions, your comments, your calls. Again, we are well, if I put it on do not disturb mode, Eddie, I don't think the calls will even come through. So I don't want to do that. We do have some texts, by the way, on the text line. Let's jump to those real quick. We've got text here on the text line. Let's see. Robbie Davis says, I just wanted to say that I think Juju McDowell needs more carries. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Harris. Harris is a great player, but anytime Harris is in there, they're keying in on it. They're bringing everybody. What do you think? Go Gamecocks. Your friend Robbie Davis. Hope you and your family are doing well. Robbie, appreciate you so much. Yeah, dude, at this point, Juju McDowell feels like he's your best player, at least your most explosive. So, yeah, I think that I think Juju McDowell continues to need to get touches for sure. Let's see. Tanner says, I'm not upset we lost, but the circumstances of not being able to score on at least one possession when having 3-and-plus territory. A lot of recruiting to do, but the talent isn't that bad to not score. Schematic issue right now. Hashtag, this is coming from Tanner, hashtag, I miss Mike Bobo. Oh, man. Let's see. Defense played its heart out. It seemed like the offensive staff was scared to throw the ball down the field. Watching from the stands, it was aggravating. So, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it was. Again, anytime you get 3 turnovers in a game, your defense does their job and gets 3 turnovers in a game. Yeah. Yeah. You win the turnover margin 3-0, yeah, you should win. There's no other way to put it. You should win. No question. No question. No question. Carolina Titan. I think fans are just disappointed because through 4 games, you see the defense progressing. Meanwhile, the offense is only getting worse. Recruiting will fix these issues. Trust me, I get it. I get it. Because, again, I just think as fans, we just want to understand, and it's very, very hard. It's very hard to understand how this team's not able to run the football and do anything offensively. And I thought we'd be much improved offensively, guys, to be totally honest with you. I did. I thought Amarian Brown would emerge as wide receiver 1. I also, Luke, we do need to keep in mind that Luke Doty is coming off of a foot injury. So I think that's got to be factoring in somewhat to the struggles offensively. It has to be. Let's see. Brian Hughes says Clemson sucks this year. They'll lose to us. Let's worry about beating Troy. Hey, we'll talk Clemson when we get to Clemson week. That's the way I look at it. I hate Clemson. Glad to see them struggling. There's a long time to go before that game. Let's see. Taylor Novinger, I wouldn't say Clayton White's a home run hire, bro. He already had some good players on that D-line. The only thing White has done is move Brad Johnson to linebacker. Defense is good, but I wouldn't say great. 230 is a lot on the ground. Taylor, I understand. Again, they're not elite, but listen, we all want to be critical. I spend a lot of time being critical, giving opinions, so damn it, I'm going to tip my cap when it's a job well done. I'm not sitting here saying give Clayton White a 10-year extension. I'm not saying he's the greatest D coordinator of all time. I'm not saying that, hey, in 3-4 years, I might look back on that comment and say, dang, maybe Clayton White wasn't the best fit for the job. But right now, after I've spent a lot of time this season sort of dogging the defense a little bit and just saying, hey, they're not all that great. We're going to have to win with offense. Tip your cap when it's due. So they did their job Saturday night. They did their job. They did their job. Now, would I have liked to have seen us be a little more tough against the run? Sure. But, I mean, you give up 16 points on your home field. What more? You get 3 turnovers. What more can you ask for? You know? What more can you ask for? Sperminator, the TDC Questions channel. Need to move the pocket, wheel routes, and pitch outs to Juju and 5 to 7 yard slants to E.J. Jenkins. Love it. Phil says, David Report, New Hampshire, 66 and cloudy. For lunch today, vegan burrito with pretzel chips and hummus. Phil also says, tell you what, Panic Gritter, Beamer will bench Joyner only if you tell him he is getting benched. Love it. Love it. Sperminator says, Beamer and Satterfield worked with Atkins prior. Atkins took a walk-on and made an All-American in 2020. Maybe quarterback calling protections at the line is confusing them or what. I'll tell you what, that has to stop. That has to stop, my friends. If that's something we're doing, which it sounds like it is, quarterback calling protections and all that, that's got to stop, dude. Whatever's happening right now on the offensive line has to stop because it ain't working. It ain't working. Bottom line, it ain't working. Brian Dean, Chris, how do you feel about the run and shoot offense? I feel good about any offense, Brian, that can score points. That's it. That's it. I don't care what the identity is personally. I just want to score points. Because, again, here's the thing. A lot of it, I think, has to do with it's not just the fact you lost to Kentucky, but it's how you lost. It's how you lost. If you're not going to be good, you better at least be entertaining. You got to be at least be entertaining. Why is offense so hard for us? How do I look at a school like Ole Miss and they're racking up 700 yards in a game? And then we can't even move the ball. Well, I thought I cut the ringer off. Oh, well. Let's jump back to the phone
Call
lines.
from
John Edward.
John, what's going on, my man? How are you?
Good. Finally got in.
Yes. I don't know. Yes,
I
don't, dude. I'm just starting to think Mondays. We're just going to blame Mondays and Muschamp Hackers. It's Muschamp Hacker Mondays. I think that's what it must be. So, it's good to hear from you, John. What's going on?
No. I was thinking about it yesterday. I never got to say it yesterday. I just think. Let me ask you this real quick. I say it. You think we're too deep at running back because it seems like we're trying to play 4 guys.
I don't know if saying we're too deep at running back is the right way to put it. But are we shuffling in too many guys? Maybe. You know, I mean.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. I mean, like I listened to the games. I wasn't able to actually see what was going on, but from what I could just tell, it's like anytime we would hand the ball off, like Todd would say, like nothing's happening, and it's just. I could just tell, even though I was listening to it.
Well, the O-line didn't block. The O-line didn't block worth a damn either.
No,
so,
yeah.
It's. I will tell you this though. I think you'd be, I think you'd be much better served finding who your top 2 are and just roll with them. I mean, all due respect to, to all those guys, Quan and Juju and Amos and Marshawn, Kevin, even whatever. But you can't rotate 4 guys in every week. I feel like that's a little bit of overkill. A little bit of overkill rotating 4 a week or 4 a game. So.
Yeah, and I was thinking about, everything we had heard, I'm going to a different position, like everything we had heard about Amari and Brown. I was just thinking about this before I went on break. Like, I don't know but your view of him, but I just, maybe coming from the ACC, let's just be frank, a lesser conference, and it's nothing against Amari. I'm sure he's a fine football player. But maybe coming from the ACC, coming to this, it's just not working.
I mean, maybe. Maybe not. I mean, I understand the ACC is lesser than the SEC. I still look at it though. It's like it's big time Power 5 football. I mean, it's maybe he's not going to be the guy that catches 7 touchdowns in the season, but I'm shocked he's not one of the top 3 guys. I'll put it that way. So.
No, and when you'll be, it's just
Yeah, and I don't care. I don't care if it's Brown. I don't care if it's Joyner. I don't care if it's Van. I don't care if it's Brooks. you just need consistent production on the outside. I mean, and I'm not blaming those guys, by the way, for the game Saturday night, because you just couldn't run the ball. That's we're stymied up front. That's why you lost. But I mean, if the running game's not going to be there, passing game's got to pick up the slack. So who's it going to be?
Yeah, I mean, we got to change something. Got to change something.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, I'm going to be in the stands Saturday at mid-afternoon with my dad, and if we cannot freaking run the football while I'm there, I got nothing to do with it. I'm just saying, a month or two ago, when I picked this game to come to, I thought we were running the football better than we are, and it's just like that. The fact that's even still a question, game I'm coming to, it's like.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't think there's anybody on this planet Earth that thought we'd be running the ball as bad as we are. I mean, it's, I posted the stats yesterday: 83 yards in 3 games against FBS opponents. I mean, that is baffling.
That's horrible.
It's baffling. It's baffling. Like
it's horrible.
It's hard to comprehend. So,
I mean, yeah. A couple of weeks ago, we were playing East Carolina. I watched the game, and I was frustrated watching East Carolina game, because I'm like, come on, guys, it can't be that hard. You're getting pushed around by, let's just be frank, AAC offensive linemen. I mean, defensive linemen, sorry. Defensive linemen. I wrong side of the ball, but it's just, I don't know. Real quick, I'll let you go. A month ago, remember when, what was this last year? Sorry. I completely forgotten about it. When Muschamp was still the coach last year, I completely forgot about they were trying to Luke at right receiver. I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Which that should tell you everything. That would have been if they Luke didn't play at right receiver, but the fact they were trying a second quarterback that they had recruited, they were trying him out at practice at wide receiver. That tells you everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they tried joining that wide receiver. That's not working at all. And the fact that they tried Luke last year at receiver in practice is just like, I'm like, are you serious? Are you misevaluating or?
Yeah.
I'm almost like, are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I definitely think that was an issue with the last regime, and that's why they're not here. But I don't know, man. Yeah. Again, you hired Shane Beamer and his staff to do a job, and we'll see if they can figure it out. That's it. I mean,
I'm not saying not for the long haul. I want this to be Shane. Every time I hear Shane speak, he wants to be here.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, because when people ask me, like, hey, what's the solution? It's like, you got to trust in Beamer. I don't know, man. It's because it is hard to wrap your head around how we're not better running the football than we are right now. But you got to do something. You got to find a way to score points, and it starts this weekend. So.
Absolutely. And then, something I didn't get to say yesterday, trying to get some of the stuff in because I didn't get all calling yesterday, but I was as fired up to see Clemson struggle and eventually lose the game. Then, I was fired up for our game, but I was more fired up to see Clemson lose.
Yeah. I mean, I was pumped to see Clemson lose. I'll tell you, man. Though people always tell me, they're like, man, you don't talk about Clemson on your show. It's like I'm focused on what Carolina needs to do. Yeah. So we need to take care of our business, and then beating them will take care of itself. So.
No, yeah, I just it's just.
But who doesn't love to see them struggle? I mean, yeah. I can't
remember the last time they lost a conference game, to be honest. But whatever, it's a Carolina show. But it just had to throw that in there because.
No, yeah, dude, I mean, trust me, I loved every second of that. So it's I guess at least we got that going for us. But it would have been a lot sweeter if they would have lost and then we could have won. But whatever. So.
Yeah. I just want to double check. So y'all, I'm not sure. What me and my dad are planning to do is get down there, eat a later lunch, and then probably get to the stadium. Yes, if we happen to come by, y'all's tailgate is across from the Rocket, right?
Yes. Down the road from Jay's Corner and right across the street from the Rocket and the fairgrounds. So it's hard to miss, and we'll have the flags flying. So like I said, it'd be hard to miss. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I just want to double check on that, and I'm fired up to be there on Saturday.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good time, man. I'm looking forward to it. Thank God it's not a noon game. So, yeah, for sure.
No, yes. All right. I think I got everything in that I didn't get to say yesterday, but
Yeah.
all right.
I appreciate the call,
All right.
John. Always good chatting with you.
Yes, thanks.
Take
All
care.
right, see ya.
Good stuff. 843-790-3377. Guys, 7 minutes till Shane Beamer speaks to the media. 7 minutes. We will have that aired right here live. Till then, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Taylor Novinger says, thoughts on putting Joyner as DB? Do you need help there? I mean, would Dak Joyner, what purpose would he serve being there? I just don't know if that really benefits you. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines real quick.
Call from
Will.
Well, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, brother? This is Will from down in St. Pete. Been watching you do your thing for pretty much since you started, man, but I don't think we've ever really, talked. I think I've just mostly just tweeted at you and done some comments and stuff and everything like that, but kind of wanted to just say a couple of things. I just don't think that we've we saw this team. This is basically last year's team with just some transfers from some really, awkward schools, some FCS guys and, we got some freshmen. We got a couple of decent guys, from that. Everything was going to be a project this year. But with all that said, there's the strength coming back should have been, that running game, that line. And it's just not. And everything I watched, they just look so freaking confused, man. I've just never seen a whole side of a line just completely just miss on everything. Running back just completely not pick up, the blitz. It's just I don't think this zone scheme that Atkins is running is really jiving with these kids, man. That's the only thing that I see. I mean, that the line doesn't go anywhere. We're not going anywhere. And I just think I was really hyped for this season, but the real reality setting in is that we really are maybe a 4, 5. If we get lucky and grind it out, we can win 6 games. But, it's going to take a little bit more time. And, I would prefer the coaches to not really sugarcoat this stuff anymore. They hype up everybody on our team and they're great kids. And I love it, man, but they really do need to kind of just start being honest with us and about look, we're just not there. We're not there. Not at this point. 4 games in, it's going to be a rough ride this year, man. I got a lot of bourbon.
I don't know if there's enough bourbon to satisfy the taste of Gamecock fans. No, listen, I think the point you make about I'll start with the coaches stuff. Them being, I think Beamer's been honest, man. But you got to think they have to walk a fine line between being transparent. But I mean, you can't go out there and just bash your team to the media. I mean, it's. Beamer's still, in year one trying to earn this team's trust. I mean, you know what I mean? These are not guys he spent 2, 3, 4 years recruiting. So, I don't think he's, going to go out there and be just publicly like, hey, our offensive line just stinks. I don't think he's just going to say that. I think he's been fairly blunt and honest about the struggles and what they're doing and what they're not doing. But no, again, going back to your original point, man, I agree with you that it's the most frustrating thing. It's not that we're sitting here 2-2. I don't think that's the most frustrating thing because I picked it. A lot of folks picked it, but it's how you've gotten here. And again, fans want things to make sense. I want things to make sense. And the fact you can't run the ball at all makes no sense. But hey, you make a great point on you make a great point on the record prediction. And that's why I said in the preseason that 5-7 was much more likely than 7-5. I think it's more likely we're not giving credit to or enough credit to the issues that surround this football team. And, that's it. So it's a work in progress, man. It's year one. It's year one of a rebuild. It's a work in progress. So.
I mean, the way Muschamp left, I'm sorry, that's a cuss word, I know. But the way he left, I mean, he just torched this program. And, if anything, this is almost like, to me, this feels like year zero. Like, this is like we're an expansion team because, there's just we just got too many holes and didn't have enough time to fix it. It's such an uphill battle. But the lone bright spot I really think is that I'll give Muschamp and his defensive staff credit that they did recruit very, very good football players, but they had a horrible scheme because you look at that as they just flipped the switch and all it was. Those guys are playing great ball, and they're a little soft coverage. They gave Kentucky's quarterback a little bit too much respect, but they still got some turnovers. So that's nitpicking. They're that's definitely a bright spot that we can build off of and get some dogs in there and keep these scores low and manageable. But we really need to start shuffling some linemen, maybe giving some of those second, third team wide receivers, a few plays, see what they can do. But I think that ultimately they're shuffling a lot of guys without getting anybody really going. They're trying to give everybody a little piece of the pie, and you're never going to figure out who your hot hand is like that, especially when your line's rough the way it is. So it's just the makings of a disaster right now. And you just gotta maybe need to just let the room stop spinning and kind of start over a little bit. I don't think Dak Joyner's WR1. I just don't. I love Dak Joyner. Dude's got my heart, but I don't think we should be doing that or running with 4 running backs every game. Right now, I'd say the 2 best running backs we got right now that have shown us what they got is White and McDowell, and was not the guys that I would have thought. But right now, those guys have been making plays. The other 2 guys are still kind of banged up. I think you got to maybe just kind of ease those other 2 guys back in, Lloyd and Harris, and just give the majority of the carries and stuff to White and Juju while we're figuring that line out, man. Because those, the last thing you want to do is get, Lloyd or Harris re-injured because we've got such a mess on the line. So
no, for sure.
What I'm saying?
No, I got you. Great stuff. Hey, great. I think you make great points, great perspective. I'm going to let you go. We're going to jump to Shane Beamer. He's live right now for his media availability, but great points, great stuff. Love the call. Thank you guys so much. All right.
4 teams in the entire country, along with Iowa State and Western Michigan, who have held 2 opponents to less than 190 yards since 2017. Clemson, Miami, Ohio State, and Troy are top 4 in the country in tackles for loss. So this is a disruptive group. They've held 8 of their last 10 opponents to 21 points or less. Had 9 sacks against Southern Miss earlier this season. To quote Ferris Bueller, 9 times they sacked the Southern Miss quarterback. That's hard to do, but they're disruptive, and it is not coach speak when I tell you this is one of the hardest playing defenses I have ever seen. That's not me trying to make them sound great. They play their rear ends off and play with great effort, and the stats reflect that. So we've got a big challenge on Saturday afternoon against Troy. Should be a great matchup, and our guys, we got off to a great start today in practice. Are coming back off the game on Saturday, Sunday night, and then our guys were off yesterday. Great practice this morning, tons of energy. Like the way our guys are working. As we've stressed to our team, we've got to continue to get better each and every week. Not happy with the performance Saturday night against Kentucky at all, in all 3 phases. And coaching certainly has to be better. But the real travesty in this whole situation would be if we didn't get better as a football team. We are 2-2. It is still September. The sky is not falling. We have to play better. We have to coach better. We've lost to 2 undefeated teams that are good veteran football teams, and we got a great opportunity this week to bounce back. We got a bunch of fighters on our football team that are staying together. We had a fantastic practice this morning, and we're excited to get back out there on Saturday afternoon and compete. That's what we love to do in this program is compete. And last week's behind us. We've learned from it, and players and coaches, and we've got to be better this Saturday and continue to get better each and every week. I told you guys when you guys asked me over the summertime and in preseason, what's a successful season? My answer was always maximize the potential and the ability of this football team, and that's still the case. And I don't put a win-loss record on it. I don't go in before the season and pencil in what games I think are going to be W's and L's. I expect to win every single football game, and I'm hurting and as disappointed as anybody that we're not 4-0 right now. But our job to maximize the ability of this team is to continue to get better, and that's what we're doing. I want to thank the fans again for an amazing environment on Saturday night. Can't tell you how many I can tell you how many recruits were there, because I told you guys beforehand it was going to be an unbelievable group of high school prospects, and it was. I meet with them all in my in the locker room, or in my little private locker room before the game, and I mean it was just a big time recruit after big time recruit that I saw before the game, on the field before the game, afterwards. And it was amazing, the group of prospects that were there, and they commented on it. And a lot of those guys have been at other games this season, and to hear them talk about the atmosphere in Williams-Brice Stadium, we appreciate that. From Gamecock Walk, which a lot of those recruits got to be a part of, to our players, the energy that creates for our players when they come through that Gamecock Walk, and the excitement on the bus when we come from that hotel and come down Bluff Road and see our fans, and Bluff Road can be completely blocked off, and then we pull right over there into Gamecock Park to hear the guys on the bus and the excitement that they have when they see that. It is appreciated. So thank you to all of our amazing fans that were out there to greet us on Saturday night, and thank you for the energy that you cheered with and supported us with for 60 minutes the other night. That was an awesome atmosphere, and it's the way it should be every Saturday in Williams-Brice Stadium. I say that we got the greatest fans in the country, and we do, and we got to do it week in, week out. I'm sorry that we didn't perform better for you overall as a team on Saturday night, but we are working our butts off day in, day out as players and coaches to get better and to be better this week. And we need to against a really good Troy team. So with that, be glad to answer any questions.
Shane,
David always gets the first one. Does he get in here and sign up or hold his hand, teleconference, press conference? He always gets the first one. Is that like a veteran, he's been here the longest and he gets to cover it, or what? Phil should be mad in the back that he doesn't get the first one each week. Go ahead, David. I'm sorry. I'm just busting.
Don't worry about it. Shane, as a first-time head coach, when there's something going wrong and maybe it's consistently not what you expected, how easy or tough is it to not try to be patient and work through instead of knee-jerking and saying, okay, we're doing this and doing that, and trying to let the other coaches do their job?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Certainly, you gotta stick to the plan and just stay focused on the process. And my dad used to say this all the time to me as his son or his football team, that things are never as good as they seem. They're never as bad as they seem. They're somewhere, in between. And there was certainly a lot of bad in a lot of ways the other night, but there was a lot of good as well. And I think our players realize how close we are, and it's frustrating that we weren't able to get over the hump the other night. But it's not. I'm not going to all of a sudden make rash decisions off of 4 games. Do we need to play better in certain areas? Absolutely. I'm not denying that. But we're 4 games into year 1, and we have a good plan for how we're going to get this thing going. And you certainly, week in, week out, you do what gives you the best chance to be successful. But we're still in September and have played 2 SEC games and 4 total games. We're not going in here and just blowing up everything after 4 games. We got good coaches, we got good players, and we got to perform better.
Shane, I'm sure you're probably sick and tired each week when we ask you, from a percent standpoint, how Luke's doing in that regard. But do you feel like as he continues to get closer and closer to 100%, can you continue to see that playbook opening up? And maybe that's not the best way to word it, but do you feel like it has limited some of the things that you guys do want to do based on his skill set and being able to use his feet?
Yeah. None of us, I don't think, are in here are doctors. But for anybody to think that Luke would be 100%, and is he well enough to play? Yes. To anybody to think that if Luke went out there today and was asked to run a 40-yard dash, that he'd run it faster than he ever has a month after breaking his foot, it's probably not very smart if you feel that. Now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Luke's not healthy. Luke is healthy. Luke is tough as hell. and he probably doesn't feel great. If you ask him, he tells you he feels really good. You know, if you watch him run, I'm sure he's still hurting, but he's tough and he's gritty and he's out there battling, and he will continue to get where he feels better and better. He's played in 2 games this entire season, a month after breaking his foot, you know, so he's got or whatever the exact term was that that had happened to him. So what I mean is he's continuing to get better and better, continuing to get healthy. Is he running as well as he did before he got hurt? Probably not. Is he that far off? No. And as he continues to feel better and whatnot, we'll continue to open up stuff. I mean, we had some things designed the other night where he could have pulled the ball, and if he pulled the ball, he may run for a ways. We had some things, some quarterback draws potentially called, some sprint out, scramble, or sprint out situations where he can throw it or run at that 1/4 down. I mean, he can run the ball or he could throw the ball, which he did. So we don't feel necessarily limited, but I don't think it's realistic to say that he's 100% Luke Doty. He's dang close to it, and he's well enough to play. And I'm glad he's out there battling and as tough as he is.
Juju was in here saying how the atmosphere in the locker room is still very positive and the camaraderie and bond continues to build. From what you're seeing right now, what players are stepping up as the leaders to make sure that the attitude does stay that way?
I don't know why it wouldn't. I mean, I know I've used the term doom and gloom before when Luke got hurt, and I mean, dang, people, we're 2-2. We're not happy with how we've played, but we're in September, so I'm not sure what the outside narrative is outside this building. Don't really care, but I know in this building we as a team see how close we are. We as a team understand that we have a lot that we have to clean up, players and coaches. Details on the field, details like off the field, because it all transpires, but I don't think there's necessarily 1 or 2 guys that all of a sudden like we feel like we're on some sinking ship because we're 2-2 and have lost to 2 undefeated teams. And we're getting with the team and be like, man, you better pick these guys up. No, it's not like that at all. I mean, that was a hurt football team in that locker room Saturday night. Hurt because we expected to win that football game. We expected to beat Georgia. And when you don't get it done as competitors, that hurts. And we had a hurt football team that came in here on Sunday. But then you're able to watch the video and see the good we did, see the bad we did, and how close we are and the details and just trying to fine-tune some things and continue to get better. And that's what we're trying to do this week. So, I mean, I meet with a group of, 15, 20 guys. There's some of the older guys on our team. I meet with them every Sunday, and we talk through things, but I haven't had to do like any extra motivation or extra, let's pick ourselves up. Our guys, it's the Kansas City Chiefs right now are 1-2, and I don't think anybody in Kansas City thinks the season's falling apart. They've lost 2 games. I think they think they're going to win the Super Bowl, and I want our mindset to be that that we're 2-2. And we're going to do everything in our power, keep our head down, work our butts off this week, and do everything that we can to get better today. And then let's show up tomorrow morning at practice on Wednesday and get better and just keep doing that and see what happens on Saturday. So a lot of guys, to answer your question, sorry to go off on that rant, a lot of guys, but it's not like I've had to pull 2 guys aside and say, hey, we really need you this week to pick the team up. They're good. They're competitors, and they know we got a good football team and are excited to go play on Saturday.
Shane, you've rotated obviously Jazz and Ja'Kai at the left tackle spot, and Vershawn got to play a little bit of that guard position against Kentucky. Is that something you plan on rotating as the season goes on, or would you like to see some of those guys step up and establish themselves? And what have you seen from those guys?
We'd certainly like to have some guys step up and establish themselves, but I also believe, it's kind of a thin line, Colin, because you want to have that continuity, because those 5 guys on the offensive line, I mean, they got to work together, and the calls that Eric Douglas is making and the calls that the quarterback's making, throughout the week in practice, you want to be able to, have a good feel for if I'm the center, who the 2 guys on each side of me are. So I would like to see some guys step up and solidify themselves over there. But at the same time, I've preached it to the coaches every week. I want to be able to play guys and keep guys fresh, whether it be multiple defensive linemen. We rotate Boogie, Tonka, Jabari, and Zach on the defensive line. We rotate Jordan, JJ, and Aaron, at the edge positions. We rotate linebackers. We play Carlins Patel and David Spalding at nickel. We rotate multiple receivers in there. And offensive line, I don't necessarily want to rotate multiple guys, but I do believe in developing guys on backups or developing depth by playing multiple people and being able to keep guys fresh also, for sure. And we all got to be better. It's not just that left side. Dylan Wanhams needs to play better. Javon Glenn needs to play better. Eric Douglas needs to play better. Greg Atkins will be better as a coach. Marcus Satterfield, myself. I'm not sitting here just singling out players. The whole group, everybody across the board, defense included. We all have things that we can be better at, and we have to continue to improve and get better as a football team throughout the season.
Hey, Coach, how would you evaluate the run game so far in the first 4 games of the season? And then also, I know you can't blow everything up after 4 games, right? But is there something that maybe you can do schematically, or is there any sort of change that you guys want to make before Troy?
Good question, Mike. That's a trick question. I would say the run game, it obviously hasn't been good enough. We have what we want our yards per carry to be each and every week, and we're not hitting that. So when you're not hitting your goal of running the ball effectively, not necessarily yards, but just yards per carry and in the game, and if we're not doing that consistently enough, we're not running the ball well enough. So, from that standpoint, it hasn't been good enough. I think we all know that. No, we're not blowing things up. We're continuing each week. It's not. You have base runs that you're going to run each week, but a lot of times the style of the defense you're playing, I don't want to say dictates, but certainly there's other plays that are better if you're playing a team that lines up in an odd front, meaning like 3-4. 3 down linemen, or a team that lines up in an even front, meaning like 4 defensive linemen. There's certain runs, that's universal, high school, college, and NFL, that are better against certain fronts. So, I think each week you want to be able to hang your hat on, you run it no matter what. There's certain weeks that there's some runs that are better against some defenses than they are other defenses. And then constantly, like I said, just continuing to get better and just really, I know I've said it before, but just narrow down a little bit, what we're doing. Where whatever SAT calls, we feel like we can go execute. And the other night, looking back at the video, it wasn't like we had a bunch of runs that were necessarily just bad runs schematically that didn't have a chance. It's just the details of the play. And if anything, if our footwork is a little bit off at the running back position and we're a little quick on a play, or footwork of the quarterback is off, or whatever it may be, let's just really, I don't want to say simplify, but hone in on the details, and that may mean simplifying a little bit where we can execute a smaller number of plays and just be effective at that, because no matter what we call, we've got good offensive linemen and we got good running backs, and we need to be able to go execute no matter what the defense is and no matter what the play is called. Just own your responsibility. We talked about that this morning as a team. Just own your responsibility and get the job done, players and coaches.
Shane, going back to Luke, you mentioned some of the challenges that he's facing, recovering from the foot injury, going against 2 really good teams, and with all the focus on the quarterback position, they get the lion's share of the credit, lion's share of the blame sometimes. Do you have to pay extra attention to the confidence, especially of a young quarterback, and make sure it stays in the right place? And also, during your career, working with your dad and some other coaches, what are some of the things that they've done working with young quarterbacks and make sure they stay good when times are bad?
Yeah, I think I think Luke, in my opinion, has played really well in 2 games. He's given us a chance to win in the last 2 games. And are there some throws that he would like to have back? Sure. Are there some decisions that he would like to do differently? Sure. But kid's tough as nails and has come in there and sat in the pocket and made some throws for the most part and done some good things. And and we've got to continue to coach him and develop him and get him better, because certainly there's some plays the other night. I mean, we only had, I think, 51. And of those 51, sure, like any game in any position, there's some plays that you look back on and wish you had done something differently. And that's no different for Luke from the other night. But he's, for it to be only his third college start ever last Saturday night, and he's only played in 2 games this year against 2 undefeated football teams that are pretty good defensively, both of them. I think he's been great, and I'm excited as the season goes on, as you continue to watch him just continue to get better and better and better. So I don't think confidence, Rick. I think it's more just, let's not forget that he is really still a freshman, from a quarterback standpoint. And we talked about it as a staff that Luke was the quarterback through spring practice, and we were all happy that Luke was back playing quarterback last week, and we had a healthy Zeb and everyone else. But we can't lose sight of the fact that Luke's still young, and Luke is getting better before our own eyes as he gets older and older. And then young quarterbacks, I think it's just kind of staying steady and not panicking and just not necessarily trying to keep them confident, but just maintaining confidence in them and understand that they're young guys and they're gonna make mistakes and teach and learn and just make them have that confidence to just go out there and just play freely and go make plays. Luke's a playmaker, and will continue to make plays for us.
Offensively, the other night, it seemed like you guys were using the get lined up and looking over to the sideline a little more frequently than you do. What are the benefits of that, and just the overall operation? How do you feel that went for you guys?
I think it was good. A couple things. I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I know from being around coaching and coaching defense, I think it can be. I know it can be challenging when sometimes you huddle, sometimes you don't huddle. Sometimes you are able to go fast. Sometimes you simulate going fast, and then you're able to look over to the sideline. So mechanics-wise, I think it was good. For us, it was more just trying to be efficient and maximize every play. And we against Kentucky, we did it out of a couple different formations. Just had a pretty a good idea, okay, out of these formations, Kentucky likes to do this, and just kind of, I don't want to say getting into the perfect play, but, giving us a chance to just simulate we're going fast and kind of make sure that we got good plays called, So will it be a part of our offense going forward? Sure, aspects of it, but, we'll still huddle, and we're like everybody. I mean, we have the ability to huddle. We have the ability to go to the line of scrimmage and look. We have the ability to just call one word, and that one word means everything: formation, pass protection, and the route, or formation and run play, by just saying one word and going super fast. So we have the ability to do all that, and each week you're just going to do what gives you the best chance, to be successful.
And defensively, just overall, good, bad, otherwise, how do you feel through the first 4 weeks with that side?
I think they've been great. Obviously they're playing lights out from a turnover standpoint. It's disappointing that we've won the turnover margin the last 2 games and have lost to not turn it over any the other night. And then I think it was 3-2, if I'm not mistaken, against Georgia. We're doing well from a turnover standpoint, and that's one of the ways, if you go in the room next door, one of the things that's on the wall about how we win football games each week is win the turnover battle, and we've done that. So credit to those guys for doing that. We're creating disruptive plays. We're playing well in the secondary for the most part. Probably the disappointing thing from the other night was just our inability to stop the run. That's been a big point of emphasis going into the season, is running the ball, which we're not doing a great job of, and stopping the run, which we didn't do well the other night. I mean, we played really well on defense, but the fact of the matter is Kentucky lined up and ran it, I think, for 230 yards and ran the ball 44 times. And the last 2 drives, when we needed to get a stop and a ball back. I mean, don't get me wrong, our offense, we put the defense out there a lot when they gave us every opportunity to win the football game, but we weren't able to get them stopped those last 2 drives, which I know was disappointing for Coach White and the rest of our defense. But overall, I mean, they've been fantastic. We've, knock on wood, but we've talked a lot about being better at stopping explosive plays. Our defense in 2020 here at South Carolina was, frankly, one of the worst in the country at doing that. And through 4 games, we're pretty good from an explosive play standpoint. We got to continue to be better there. We got to continue to stop the run, and like everything, just continue to get better and keep improving. But off to a great start, in my opinion.
Shane, I think we saw some multicolored cards on the sideline last week. Was that a new thing, or was that going on before, or is that just in blocking out signals?
That was the defense was doing that. That was a new thing. I wouldn't read too much into it.
And then just we would talk to Juju a little bit about it. We saw him line up in the slot maybe a little bit more, moved him around the formation. Is that part of just like, the week-to-week tinkering that you can do to maybe adjust things versus, like you said, blowing things up? And how much is that just,
No, I think at the end of the day, you certainly have schemes, but you also got to think players, not plays. And we've got some really good players on this offense, and let's just continue to be multiple with where we align guys and how we get the ball to different people. And Juju's really good out in space and being able to get the ball to him either between the tackles or out in space and making defenses, defend guys in different places, whether it's Jaheim lined up as a receiver, Jaheim lined up as a tight end, or Jaheim lined up as a fullback like we did against Eastern Illinois or whatnot. Just trying to be multiple from that standpoint.
Shane, you were mentioning the turnovers before from the defense. I'm sure you've been part of a lot of good defensive teams that just don't seem to get a lot of turnovers. What's the knack there? How do you teach the idea that, hey, we've got to get the football?
No, it's a great point. I think I mentioned it last week or sometime, but I can remember being at Oklahoma and we hired Alex Grinch as our defensive coordinator, and all he came in talking about was takeaways and getting turnovers, and we made a huge point of emphasis, and it seemed like for 3 or 4 weeks we couldn't get a turnover. And then all of a sudden they just came in bunches. So I don't know. The thing that we do is we emphasize it, we chart it or track it. Every Sunday we talk about the turnover battle and getting the ball back, and then we do drills out there every Tuesday and Wednesday. For the defense to work against the offense. So it's the running backs versus the linebackers with like a ball security, making sure the receivers versus the DBs, the tight ends versus the edge buck guys, and then the running backs versus the linebackers. Ball security for the offense, the defense trying to get the ball out, different type drills to simulate and teach that. And then out at practice, we're constantly yelling, and I'm constantly yelling to the defense about get the ball out, try and get the ball out, punching it against our defense. And they've done a great job of that, and we need them to continue to as the season goes on.
Thank you. Maybe with Alabama, the exception, we're seeing some funny things happening around college football this season. Some of the powers are slipping, and some of the lesser knowns are moving up. Do you think there's a transition going on in college football? Maybe some of the powers moving in other parts of the country, and does that give you kind of hope as a building program that there's openings there for the up and comers?
I think it's just a great example of there's so much parity in college football. We all have 85 scholarships, and we're all recruiting a lot of the same players. And a lot of these guys that we're playing this weekend, probably had SEC offers, and maybe the team that offered them in the SEC filled up at a position, so they ended up not going to the SEC. They ended up at Troy, but they really should be in the SEC. Or guys that got overlooked in recruiting that are at Troy that a lot of the SEC teams would love to have on their roster right now that are playing at Troy. So I think it goes back to recruiting and what an inexact science that is, and just how much parity there is. We got it's not like NFL teams where you have 53 or whatever it is on their roster. We all have 85 scholarships, and we all have good players, and each year is certainly different. But I don't know if there's necessarily a power shift. I think it's 4 games into the 2021 season, and last year was certainly unusual. This year teams got spring practice and got a normal summer. Defenses are certainly playing better in a lot of ways across the country because they were able to work on tackling and go through spring practice and preseason camp and all that. But it's interesting. Certainly there's been some, shake-ups, and you look at the teams that the experts picked to be the top 5 and how that's kind of been shook up already. But it's an early body of work. But I think it's just another great example of how much parity there is in college football, and that any team, Bowling Green as a 30-plus point underdog, can go into Minnesota and beat Minnesota the other day or whatever it may be. I mean, you see those every Saturday in college football.
It seems like you have a lot of older guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball, who are playing their best football of their career. Have you been able to kind of determine what that's a function of, if that's a function of anything? Does it kind of depend on each player? But it seems like a lot of guys who maybe haven't produced nearly as much are producing a lot more.
I think it's experience for one. I go back to last year. I don't know how many practices South Carolina got in before COVID got shut down or shut everything down. It wasn't many, but you've got guys that had a full spring practice and a full summer. And I don't know, belief from us as coaches in instilling confidence in those guys and making them realize how talented they are and how good they can be. And certainly they're off to these guys that you're talking about are off to a good start. And I think that's how we want this program to be is great belief in every single player in this program and great love for them and building them up and lifting them up to what they can be and not what the past is, because the past doesn't, dictate the future and the kind of player you can be. Credit to those guys. They would be the first to tell you that they've got a lot that they've got to continue to improve on. But I would argue that it's not just, defensively. I mean, I haven't been here, but I think Jalen Brooks has played pretty dang good through 4 weeks. I think Kerryon Joyner's done some really good things through 4 weeks. I think Josh Vann has done some really good things through 4 weeks. And all I heard for 9 months when I got hired is what we didn't have at receiver. And they've done a nice job. Are there plays they'd like to have back? Sure. I'm not saying that. Are there things that can be better? Absolutely. But I'd argue those receivers have I don't want to use the word overachieved, but have certainly done some really good things based on what I was told they were when I got here. And we've got to continue to coach them up and continue to get better, because by no means have they arrived, but we've got to continue to utilize those guys and get the ball to them in the passing game and continue to bring these older guys along on defense, and just every position from veteran guys on defense to veteran guys on offense to the guys out there playing scout team O-line and D-line. We're in a race to improve, and we're just keeping our head down and just trying to get better every single day. Thank you, guys. Have a great week.
Okay, that was Shane Beamer. Media availability in the books. Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts, comments? Taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. 15 minutes to go here on a Tuesday, September the 28th, 2021. What are your thoughts? Nothing crazy, I guess, really coming from Shane Beamer's media presser. I think he knows it's a tough game against Troy, and they got a lot to work on, a lot to figure out. And, yeah, I guess probably the biggest thing is Luke Doty's not 100%. So the original report, I think, that Mike Yuba posted when it happened, I think was much, much closer to accurate than not. When he mentioned the injury, the broken foot, whatever. So, kind of is what it is, kind of where you are. So, yeah, admitted the foot was broken. So, I think, I think I look back at that, and I think Shane was trying to put out fires in the preseason, did not want the fan base jumping ship then, did not want the fan base freaking out, but it's no question that Luke Doty was hurt more seriously than we were led on to believe. All right, let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
Dalton.
Dalton, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, man, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
I wanted to call and sort of talk about, some takes I've been seeing on,
Twitter and whatnot. I understand why people are angry with the offensive production of this team right now, but I think like a lot of people are taking it way too far. They're letting their emotions get the best of it, or get the best of them. You've talked about it on your show after the game, but the people who are calling for other people to be fired or whatnot, it's way too early for that. I've also heard some people saying that like, we're bad right now and we'll never be good. We're just a garbage program that will never, get to where we want to be. And I think that's completely, unfair to say that, especially because, we have a new coaching staff right now that wants to win. Some has been said about the board of trustees not caring about winning as much. I do think that is a problem. But I think you're seeing the board of trustees change. After Beamer, they saw how the boosters got upset about how we're always, having losing seasons and we're okay with mediocrity. And I think that is sort of changing as well. So overall, I think the program's going in a positive direction. But I'm unsure about how long it's going to take for Beamer to sort of build this program into something that can compete with the top teams of the SEC.
Yeah, and you got to give him time. I mean, it's year one of a rebuild. It's not going to be overnight. And I think, here's the thing. I think you got to lock in with Beamer for the long haul. And I'm not talking 4 or 5 years. I'm saying, I don't know what the number is, but and I know coaches don't get that long anymore to build a program, but hey, you knew what you were signing up for when you hired Shane Beamer. You knew he's a first-time head coach, and I think the 3 P's of this season, my friend, are perspective, progress, and patience. I really think that's it. I think it's very unfair to say this football team can't get better week to week to week, and that's all we really taught in the preseason we wanted to see. Now, again, what that means is you got to go out there and you got to improve from Kentucky to Troy, and you got to go beat Troy, and you got to do it and show some promise doing so. And then you got to get better from Troy to Tennessee and hopefully beat Tennessee and then continue. So, it is crazy. I don't know if I just have more of the baseball approach where, you lose a game in baseball, right? It's no big deal. You lose one game in football, and literally the sky is falling. So, we're 4 games in. We're exactly where I picked us to be. Has it happened how I thought it would? Has it happened the way I would have liked it to? No, it hasn't. But, we're 2-2, which is exactly where I had this football team in the preseason. So, no matter the record this year, you could go 4-8 this year, and I don't want to say the season's a wash, but it's year one, man. And some people call it year 0.
One thing I keep on reminding people is that there are programs out there like the University of Tennessee and the University of Miami who, after 3 years of sort of mediocre seasons, they dump their head coach and they hire a completely new guy. That's not the way you want to build a program. You look over at Arkansas, what Sam Pittman is doing with Arkansas. Arkansas used to be like the Vanderbilt of the SEC West, and now they just beat 2 like powerhouse Texas teams back to back, and they have a decent shot at winning against the best team in the country, Georgia, this Saturday. So I think, it has been proven that new head coaches, if they know what they're doing and they're given enough time, they can create a powerhouse program that can compete with the top dogs of the SEC and the top dogs of college football. But, this whole thing where we act like we can just dump our head coach off and that we can, get someone better as soon as we lose a couple of games or have a mediocre season is not the way to do it. And it's not the way to do it at South Carolina, especially. And it's not the way to do it at more, schools with a little bit more history like UT and whatnot. So,
I must be following. I was going to say, I must be following the right people because I have not seen the board of trustees talk, which, do we hear ourselves right now, the conversation we're having? Truly. Going into game 5 in year 1, are we really hearing ourselves right now? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not necessarily saying that to you. I'm saying that to those people. Like, do you hear yourself? Do you hear how absurd you sound? Talking about firing, like, questioning Shane Beamer and him as a coach. Again, I said it going into Georgia. I'll say it now. He's a football coach. He's not a miracle worker. So it's the same team from last year. It's the same team from the last 2 years that won 6 combined games. Dude, Shane Beamer might turn out to be a complete bum. He might turn out to be a complete bum. But, dude, you're not going to know that in year 1 or 2 or probably even 3. I mean, you wanted to people wanted to snap my neck for calling for Will Muschamp to be fired after 4, in the 4th season. They wanted to give him year 5. If Muschamp deserves 5 years, I mean, hell, Beamer deserves 10, dude. I mean, so I think the whole conversation is insanity is what it is.
I do think there is some merit to saying that, like, historically, the Board of Trustees hasn't really, like, put as much emphasis on getting that winning culture at South Carolina and keeping it there for, like, an extended period of time. If you look back at the history of South Carolina, we may have some of the most dedicated fans in the SEC, but we're not like Bama, where the Board of Trustees needs Bama to be good, like, year over year. They at least need them to compete for like a SEC West title every year. Our Board of Trustees, I think, is sort of realizing how the boosters and the fans feel about their, decision making and whatnot. So I think it is changing, but I mean, it is what it is. It's hard to change the Board of Trustees and the decisions that they make, but I think overall this Shane Beamer hire is still looking like a good hire. And again, it's sort of the same thing that happened at Arkansas, or is happening at Arkansas. They're sort of seeing the fruits of their labor, produce right now. And I think at some point in the next couple of years, we're going to see some of that at South Carolina, I hope. But you just have to have faith and time. And, if Shane Beamer doesn't produce those results, he knows that every single year his leash gets a little bit shorter. So, I mean, he knows exactly what's going on, and the fans, their criticism and their passion for winning games is what makes him, know that this is a results-driven business. If he can't get results, then we go to somebody else.
I tell you what, losing to Kentucky truly is just an unforgivable sin in Columbia, isn't it? I mean, it really, dude. I swear, if it was Tennessee Saturday or Missouri or Auburn, I don't think we're having these conversations. I will say, though, to your point, I mean, I've heard from many Carolina fans, the Board of Trustees and their ineptitude, and I mean, just those in charge at the University of South Carolina, being completely incompetent. I don't disagree with you that that's a problem. I mean, look at the whole Will Muschamp buyout. Look at Tanner Caslen, that whole debacle. I mean, I'm certainly not debating that, but yeah, when it just comes to Beamer's, I can't even believe I'm saying this, job security. I mean, I don't understand it, bro. I mean, listen, we lost the way we lost to Kentucky sucked. It sucks losing on your home field. I get it, but there was no reason you should have beaten Kentucky, man. They're a 9th-year head coach program. You're a first-year head coach program, coming off of a head coach that that left you in ruins practically. So I mean,
this year it seems like Kentucky to me is better than UT. Like, I feel better about going into Rocky Top than I do going into the Kentucky game.
Yeah, and that's why I picked Tennessee as a win in the preseason. I mean, you're right exactly where I picked you. And then I picked you to win the next 3, which is very doable. I mean, you should beat Troy and Vanderbilt, no question. And then Tennessee, I mean, they've got to, they might have more problems in South Carolina. So if you're if you're 3 weeks from now, if you're 5-2, I mean, who's going to be complaining about that? That's a dream start under Shane Beamer. Dream start. So I don't know, man. I know people are upset. I get being upset, and I know there's not some very bright people out there, but man, I just can't fathom the conversation of job security and job status. Hey, be upset, hold people accountable, but dude, it is year 1 of a rebuild. Like, really understand what the word rebuild means. I think people that's what they don't
Yeah,
want to
I mean,
accept.
The thing about it is every coach in this business knows that, again, it's a result driven business. You look over there at Dabo, and Dabo, you know, is probably a little bit hot under the collar because he knows that the you know, people that pay his paycheck aren't going to put up with him losing like he does. He probably has a longer leash than most coaches do just because of his track record, but nobody is safe if they don't produce.
That's
you
a
know,
fact.
given a reasonable time frame. So, you know, that's just what you have to realize.
And that, you know,
I understand being mad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, to your
Go ahead.
point, no, you're right. That's why in the preseason, it was great, all the positive energy, positive momentum, welcome home tour. But, you know, I made the point. No one is immune from the pressures of being a college football coach, not even Shane Beamer. You know what I mean? So all that talk during the summer and, you know, June, July, and August is great. But, hey, if you don't win football games, that's it, man. It doesn't. None of the other stuff matters.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to be out there on Saturday, you know, cheering them on. Hopefully we get a W and we take a positive record into our Rocky Top the week after that. So, you know, the result wasn't exactly what we wanted last night. Hopefully we can improve and do better this Saturday.
For sure. Appreciate the call, Dalton, as always. Great talking with you. Great stuff. 843-790-3377, guys. We got just a couple of minutes left. Quick reminder, by the way, if you have not done so, check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 506. My good friend and I, Alex McGrath, break down everything that happened over the weekend, the 16-10 loss to the Kentucky Wildcats, as well as look ahead to this weekend. Gamecocks taking on the Troy Trojans, which, again, I know we're dwelling on, we're reflecting on everything that happened over the weekend against UK. We will dive into Troy very, very soon because I do believe this is going to be a tough game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. You know, you're going to have to go out there and play good football and go win, bottom line. So it's going to be an interesting game. Troy's got some good football players. They've got talent. And for anybody thinking that South Carolina is just going to roll their helmet out there and you know, take care of the Trojans, no problemo, I don't know. I think you're a little misguided there. But like I said, guys, I mean, patience, perspective, and progress. Those are the 3 Ps of year one. And it is year one. You got some people out here talking like it's year 4, year 5, year 6. I mean, again, I didn't realize that losing to Kentucky was that unforgivable of a sin because that's what we're seeing this week. I mean, I'm just going to put it to you like this. If you're out there talking about Shane, if you want to talk about Marcus Satterfield, go ahead. If you're talking about Shane Beamer's job security this week and questioning, if you're already starting to question, is he the guy? Is he in over his head? Can he be a football coach here? You're the king of the slapdicks. I don't know. I got nothing for you. So, all right, we've hit 2 o'clock, guys. Appreciate you all tuning in. Another one in the books. Appreciate it. Like I said, check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 506. Really good stuff. Content rolling all day here on a Tuesday, folks. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we'll talk to you.